Here we are at Lyndon Fish Hatcheries, just outside of New Dundee, Ontario. Very unique production facility where they produce the eggs for rainbow trout, and those become the fingerlings and eventually the fillets that you and I buy in the grocery store. Well, to feed trout, you need a very high animal protein diet. The conceptual idea is hooking up our fish breeding with our soybean breeding so we can use more plant protein in the diet of those fish. In so doing, we significantly cut the cost of rearing the fish and create a new market for both our aquaculture, which is a massively growing market globally, and our soybeans. With the soybeans, they're hooking up with Dave Hendrick of Savita, and it shows another example of collaboration and thinking globally in Ontario agriculture.
So one of the interesting parts of Lyndon is that we're able to operate on a farm and a property that has been in the Rick family since 1849. This is the cornerstone of the original building that was built on this property. From 1849 until now, obviously there's been quite a bit of transition and change. In 2002, my father Lynn moved from terrestrial farming, which would be beef and pigs, and he moved into fish farming and aquaculture. So in 2002 is when Lyndon was incorporated. We started growing fish on a novel basis in 2000 just to test it out and see how things developed. But in 2002 we had the ability to take over another site, and from there it has grown, and we're looking forward to further expansions in the future as the opportunities arise.
Currently, most of our eggs are used either internally for fingerlings or externally within the Canadian marketplace, but our real thrust for our market is to get into international. The interesting thing about trout is it can be basically raised in any continent, so it really opens up the marketplace for us for trout. Trout are grown in South America, they're grown in Southeast Asia. The demand for fish in Southeast Asia is really great. So that's kind of where the focus of our marketing plans are going to be.
Female trout take 3 years to reach sexual maturity when they can produce eggs. They can produce eggs for up to 3 years, and what's happening right now is this fish is being spawned. Each spawning, it produces approximately 3,750 eggs. Those eggs are then incubated until the eyed stage when they're shipped out to our international customers. This is where all the data is taken. We take the length and the weight of each broodstock. We also scan the microchip so that we can input more data for that broodstock specifically. We have a database that pulls up all the historical data for each fish that we spawn, and that data will be used as we select broodstock for our next generation. Here's the troughs that we put the fish in after they've hatched. Once they've been spawned, they take 18 days approximately with our water temperatures to develop into an eyed egg. An eyed egg is the stage when that egg starts to develop the eyes. That's when it's the most resilient and able to handle the most stress. So that's the ideal time for shipping. And so either the eggs are shipped to our customers or they're kept internally and hatched for our own fingerling production. But these fish are what we would call swim-ups. They've just hatched and they've absorbed their yolk sac, and now they're starting to eat feed. From this stage, they'll be kept in here for about 2.5 weeks. Then they'll be moved into 6-foot circular tanks, and from there, larger rings which go to our customers. On this site, we have a significant amount of well water that's available to us. We have 700 gallons a minute of free-flowing gravity-fed wells. This is the well water that comes from one of these wells, and it is ideal for growing fish, and that's one of the main reasons why we have such good success at this site. So here is a raceway where we're holding our brood stock. These breeding stock have higher nutritional requirements, so we have a specially formulated diet that we feed them. These fish would range between 3 and 6 years old, and they will be kept in this raceway until the time of their next spawning. Water quality is incredibly important for us, so we have several settling areas where we settle out any suspended solids that are in the water, so that these fish can be kept in pristine waters And also we have supplemental oxygenation to make sure that the rearing environment is as stress-free as possible. This is our recirculating facility. We had some support from the Ontario government which allowed us to move forward into this expansion. This is where we're able to control the water temperatures by heating the water. And due to our intensive reuse of the water, it allows us to do that very economically, but also reducing our environmental impacts. From a nutritional standpoint, soybeans are able to provide the protein and several of the other nutritional needs of rainbow trout feed, so they would fill the need to a certain degree.
Not only using the soybean as the whole feed or as the whole bean, but also using some of the byproduct of the normal soybean food processing steps, a product that we call okara, which is normally a waste product. But we're on the cusp of developing a technology that would could make that okara useful as fish feed.
On this property, we're planning a new expansion with industry-leading technology to increase our operational capacities so that we can increase our genetics division, increasing our egg sales to international clients, which will be the main thrust of the future of Lyndon.